So this is video 2, and first thing I want you to do is just take note that we're going to skip past Jason's paycheck here. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Then on this page here that says paycheck calculations, I want you to cross that out. We are not doing this page. I must have left it in there from an earlier packet other years, but we're not going to do this page. So we're going to go right here on this page 11. And since your mini economy experience is coming very soon, you're going to be learning all about that probably next class. I wanted to take a moment and talk about checking, because that is going to be the form of money that we use for the mini economy. It's going to be checkbook money, and you're going to be using a checkbook register. It looks something like this on page 13, although this is not it, okay? And we'll talk about that at that time, but essentially you're going to be writing checks for mini economy, just not like what you see here, okay? I'll explain more down the road, but it's worth it just to take a moment and talk to you guys about writing a check. As you know, checking is one of our forms of money. It's representative money, and it is the way that most of the payments are made in this country today. People using their checking accounts. People don't write so many checks anymore, not like they used to in the age before computers, but they still do. I mean, I still receive checks in the mail from businesses and things like that. And sometimes we have to write a check to another person if we can't Venmo them or we can't use PayPal and things like that. Online banking has changed a lot of things. However, we still should know how to write a check. So on this, go ahead and fill this in as I talk about it. This is going to be where you would have your name and your address on these two lines, the address, and then maybe over here your cell phone number if you had one. In the real world of banking, this would already be filled in for you because you would be paying for it. When you have a checking account at a bank and you want more checks, you actually have to buy them. It cost me about $35, $40 to buy 2 books of checks. There's about 40 checks a book. I don't like to have to do that, but it's necessary. It's one of the ways banks make money, right? They make money, if you read that homework assignment, through loan interest and fees. This is just one example. So that would already be filled in. You can fill it in now. If you need to pause the video at any time, go ahead. Okay, next you'd be filling in your date. And today's date is October 17th, 2022. So we move on from that, and now you're going to be paying it to somebody. Let's say we're paying it to our credit card company, which happens to be Capital One. So you'd fill in Capital One here. And then let's say we're making a payment of $120 even. So what you'd write here is a 120. Then there's one of two things you can do. I was brought up, and I learned a long time ago, this is how I did it. I did a 0, 0, and then a little, like a line, and then a 1, a 0, 0, like 2 zeros over 100 with a line in between. Today, people might put 100.00. I think either's fine. Then down on this line, you're going to have to write that out now. So in this case, you would write 120 and the 00/100, and then fill a line here all the way to end. You don't put dollars in here because you can see it's already over here. You don't put 120, you put 120 and. Remember, you write that out, letters, okay? Finally, none of this is legal until you sign it, so go ahead and sign your name here. It's a signature. It shouldn't be print block writing, so you need to start thinking about what kind of a signature you'd like to use. It's cursive. Give it a shot. For me, it's one big B and a slash, like that. And finally, the memo is just a way for you to record what this was about, like what was the transaction for. In this case, I might write credit card bill or bill. And that's how you write a check. Down here is the routing number, which everybody at this bank, everybody who has a checking account at this bank would have the same number, whatever the bank is. This would be your own checking account number right here, which would be different from every other person who happens to be a customer at that bank. And finally, this number here and here, they're the same. That's the check number. So the next check, if this was one we used, the next check in this series would be 3457, right? Okay. End of video 2. Move on to video 3.